Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my diary entry for the week of November 3rd through the 9th. Today is Saturday, November 9th. So this week was just bad on all fronts, really. Work was bad, really bad. And that, pretty much takes up my life nowadays, work. And so, yeah, it was bad. Daughter had a birthday this week though, so that was kind of the bright spot of the week, and so that was fun. And we got to hear from my brother, which was nice. And so yeah, I didn't get much reading done this week because work is just a beast right now. And I think I told you before that my job is really heavy the last quarter of the year through the first couple weeks of January, and that we were going to be making some changes. And so I'll tell you what happened towards the end of the video with that. But I've only got one book that I finished this week, so we'll talk to you about that book. I have picked up a replacement book for that book. I am still currently reading one that I was reading last week, so we'll discuss a little bit about that. I have a Yarnie update. You may have noticed from the thumbnail that there is a different project. So we'll talk about that. I have a kind of a pattern book haul. So I'll talk to you about that, and then we'll do the catch up at the end of this video. So let's get into it. So what did I finish reading this week? I finished Death Behind Every Door, which is the first book in the Blackbird Files mysteries by Heather Graham. So this book follows a couple of FBI agents that go to Edinburgh, Scotland, and are looking for a group of serial killers that are associated to a group known as the H.H. Holmes Society. This is kind of a mix of investigative with a slight paranormal element to it, and I enjoyed it. I was kind of confused a little bit as to how this, if it at all, was related to the Crew of Hunters series, which is another series that this author writes. It's kind of a long series. I've only read 2 of the books though. And Crew of Hunters is also a facet of the FBI who does paranormal type investigation that are linked to real life crimes. And so it's a series that I still have interest in, but the first 2 books were just okay for me. I'm thinking the third one will be better because it does have to do with Jack the Ripper, and I'm really interested in Jack the Ripper. And so I really should read that one soon. But I wasn't sure how this one connected, if at all. So when I was done reading it, I had gone into the reviews section on Goodreads, and it was just reading what people had to say about it being, if at all, related to the Crew of Hunters series, because a couple of the characters from the Crew of Hunters series are referenced, and the Crew of Hunters are referenced in this book. And so some people said it's a spin-off. Some people were saying it's a spin-off of not only the Crew of Hunters series, but a couple of her other series that she has written, which I have another book of hers from a different series that I have interest in as well. But I don't know. It's people don't really know if this is just a spin-off of Crew of Hunters or if it's a spin-off of several of the series that she has written. So I don't know how to feel about that. But as somebody who hasn't read a Crew of Hunters book in a really, really long time, I wouldn't say that you would need to know anything about the Crew of Hunters going into this one. You could definitely read it as a new person to Heather Graham's work. It was a really, really good, investigative crime kind of thriller with a paranormal twist. If you like Criminal Minds and you like paranormal investigation, I would say definitely give this series a try. This is much more heavy on the crime investigation than the paranormal elements, whereas I think Crew of Hunters is more into the paranormal investigation with less crime investigation. So both are really good. I definitely enjoyed my time with this book. It definitely reminded me of the most recent season of Criminal Minds Evolution. Like the beginning part of Criminal Minds Evolution for this past season felt familiar with the case that they are researching here, where you got a group of people who are kind of getting instructions from somewhere, and they're all kind of doing similar things, and so you're trying to root out the main point of where these people are getting like their instructions and things. And so it felt very familiar, and I enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5 stars. I think Heather Graham also writes like romance novels, and this one definitely has an element of romance in it, which I really don't feel was necessary at all. It didn't add anything to the story for me, but I did enjoy the investigation aspect, and the like whole crime thing that was going on was interesting, and I enjoyed how they investigated the cases. And so really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to reading the next one. And like I said, I'll probably go back and read Crew of Hunters again. I don't know if it's going to be this year. I might just save it for next year, because like I had said in last week's video, we're getting into the more holiday season, and I kind of want to like really lean into those holiday feels, especially with all of the stress that I've had with my job and things. And so I feel like I really need some like fluff, if you know what I mean. And so, yeah, I enjoyed it. We'll definitely be continuing to the next book. And I think there are 2 or 3 books in the Blackbird Files series out right now. So, looking forward to the next one. So that's the only book that I finished. I listened to it on audio. The narration was just okay for me, but I think it was because the narrator was male. And usually with male narrators, I don't enjoy the storytelling as much, because they can be a little bit monotone and not a lot of emotion in their voice. You can like pick up the sense of urgency during scenes and things, but there's not a lot of like emotion. I don't know. And then when you have male narrators narrating women, it kind of sounds cartoony. And so I don't think I'm going to be continuing with the audiobook. We'll just have to see how I feel, because you know that I always have an audiobook going and a physical. It just depends on what my balance is like when I'm able to pick up the next one, but I'll definitely be picking up the next one. So because that was my audiobook for the week, I decided to go ahead and start a different one. I picked this one up on the Audible Plus library, which is a library of free borrows that you get as being an Audible subscriber. And so I saw Caught Dead-Handed, the first book in the Witch City Mystery series by Carol J. Penny, on the Audible Plus program. And so I decided to go ahead and finally get to this one. I have had this book on my shelf since 2019 and have never picked it up. I have attempted to several times, but just never got around to reading them. I think several of the people I know have also read this one for like readathons or read-alongs, and I just was never able to fit those reads in, and so this book has been staring me in the face for a while. So I'm really, really glad that I finally made the time to pick this one up. This is about a woman who moved back to her hometown, Salem. She is applying for a job at the local TV station, which is WICH TV. And when she gets there, she's told that they had already filled the position, and she gets really upset because she was told she was a front runner for this job and was asked to come down. And then she makes the trip, and there's no job for her. So she's really upset, and she's heading back to her car. And while she's heading back to her car, she runs into somebody else who works at the station. And they get to chatting about what kinds of shows the station has. And I guess their most popular show is this call-in psychic TV show. And so they're just kind of chatting real general, and she ends up, leaving the building, still upset, goes back to her car, which is like parked next to a sea bluff. And she's just kind of like, trying to calm down. And that's when she sees a dead body. Turns out that the person that she found is the host of that super popular call-in psychic TV show. So in a turn of events, she actually gets hired to be the replacement for this woman on the call-in psychic TV show, because the woman who heads that program for the TV station had actually seen her audition tape for the other position and really, really enjoyed it. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm enjoying it so far. It is really fast. Listen, the narrator is interesting. I'm on chapter 7, page 54. This is quite a chunky, cozy mystery, but enjoying it a lot. I will say that I kind of feel like the summary in the back here gives away a little bit too much. They probably could have cut this whole last portion off, and you would have still known what this book was about. And so, at least for up to where I have read, it's interesting so far. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen, because our main character has no psychic abilities at all. And so it's kind of like, going through how she's going to fake it till she makes it for this job. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how she's going to handle that. And so, yeah, it's got the classic cozy mystery feels right now. Woman comes back to hometown due to change in life. And in this case, she was widowed young. So she's coming home. And yeah, it's interesting. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm not too far in, so I can't really give you any other opinions, but I'm enjoying it. And I'm glad that I'm finally able to get to this one. So that's Caught Dead-Handed. And then the other book that I'm still reading is Key of Knowledge, which is the second book in the Key trilogy by Nora Roberts. I am reading this for my friend Storm Reed's Nora November reading event. I am 71% of the way through this book. I'm enjoying it. I think we're starting to head towards the big, kind of climax section of the story, the kind of showdown that's going to happen. That's been kind of gearing up. This one was definitely more kind of nail-biting in the interactions that our character is having, trying to find her key. And yeah, definitely much more at stake with our kind of 6 people. The stakes have definitely been raised. Also, they're in more danger now, and so it's definitely leveled up a little bit. But, we also have those sections where our characters are just kind of, bouncing off ideas of each other, and they're kind of converging and getting to know each other better, becoming better friends, becoming a better friend unit. And I'm enjoying that a lot. And so, yeah, I will definitely be finishing that one this week. And then I don't know what I'm going to be reading after that, but we'll just have to wait and see. But so far, I'm enjoying all of my reads, and I think that's a good thing. That is a really good thing. And so that brings us to the end of the kind of bookish section, and then let's get into our Yarnie update. So, thumbnail shows you that I have a new project off of my needles. I finished these cozy reading socks. So, I mentioned daughter had a birthday this week, and I asked her if there was anything that she had wanted. And she wanted some house/sleep socks. It is getting a bit more chilly at night here especially, and she wanted some socks to keep her feet warm. And so I had started these back in 2021. These are the Cozy Reading Socks pattern by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears podcast. This is a patron only, I believe, pattern, It was one of the patron patterns, or she calls them the platinum patterns, for the year 2021. This is a DK sock with her butterfly heel, which was a new type of heel that she was working out that year. So I had already finished this sock. This sock was already done. And I had started just the cuff part. I was like here. And just never continued with it. So this is actually a DK and a mohair held together. And it's got kind of a knot type texture. She calls it a knotty stitch. Knotty. And so, yeah, I worked from about here, and I finished the rest of this sock this week. So, yeah, let me tell you what yarn I used. So, I used the Serdar Snuggly. Oh, that is kind of hard to see. Serdar Snuggly Cashmere Merino Silk yarn. These come in 50-gram balls. And so I used 2 different colors of that. So I have the blue is Prince Charming for the whole of the sock. And then for the heels and toes, or heel, I have Silvery Moon. So that's what I used for that. And then I held it together with ball of Knit Picks Aloft, which is a mohair lace in the color Plover. So this was left over from my Comfort Fade Cardi that I had done. And so really great use of some leftover yarns that I had. And so, yeah, I still have plenty. I do intend on making myself a pair of these socks as well in a different color. I had actually bought enough yarn to make socks for my daughter, for my mom, for myself, and for my dad's wife. I gave my dad's wife her pair in 2021, I believe. Hers were pink with the gray heel. I'm not sure that I like the butterfly heel. I mean, it's really easy. But I don't know how it wears. So I'll definitely need to try this one out and see for myself. Because I normally do a heel flap and gusset. That's kind of the heel that I do the most. And it fits me well. But this is definitely a new type of heel that I'd like to try to wear and see like how it wears and things like that. She also is now putting this heel in her like regular fingering sock patterns. And so I believe the sock pattern that I have that incorporates this heel from her is the Rumple socks, which is a kind of cable-y fingering weight sock that was inspired by Rumple Stillskin from the TV show Once Upon a Time. And so, yeah, I haven't done that yet, that pattern. I am like so not into socks right now. But you might be wondering, well, you're not into socks. Why did you finish the socks so fast? I think it's because these socks weren't for me. All of the socks that I have on the needles that are fingering weight right now are for me. And I'm not really inspired to finish them right now. Because I kind of don't need them, if you know what I mean. I really like each yarn that I'm using for those socks. But I don't have a need for more socks. And I think that's also a detractor for me with those projects. But these were for my daughter. And it's something that she asked for. And it's something that she's going to use and enjoy wearing. And she's already tried them on. They fit great. And I think they're really going to be helpful for this season. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I was able to finish these so fast. And I think that's where it is. Like, if my daughter asked me for a pair of fingering socks next, I would do it because she asked. But I think I would have more motivation because they're not socks for me. And so, yeah, really, really nice feel of these socks. Cashmere merino silk, that is just squishy, feels great. You've got that halo from the mohair. And so I think these are going to be really, really nice for her to wear this year. So I told her she couldn't have them until I podcast about them. And so I'm going to do that now. And so she can have these when I'm done. But I'm really, really happy with these. And I think she's going to get a lot of use out of them. And so, yeah, that is my finished item for the week. I don't know what I'm going to work on next. There are a couple things that I have that are languishing whips that are calling to me, but there are also new projects that are calling to me, and so I don't know what I'm going to do yet. We'll just have to wait and see what I'm feeling. But I definitely feel more invigorated now with my knitting, and I think it's because, again, the project wasn't for me. So, yeah. I don't think I'm doing any gift knits this year. I don't think I am. So I don't really know like what I'm feeling like working on. I definitely feel like working on something, but I don't know what. So there's that. We'll just have to wait and see. But I'm glad to have finished another project. These bring me a lot of happiness, just looking at them, feeling them, and knowing that she's going to enjoy them. And so, yeah, I think that's all that really matters. And then I told you I have a book haul. My mom bought this for me. I was looking at the doodle decks. You know those doodle decks that are like, it's like a deck of cards that have little color work motifs on the cards, and then you can go through the card deck and pick out a bunch of them to like make your own whatever, scarf, cowl, hat. You could probably even use the Strange Brew pattern from Tin Can Knits to make your own colorwork yoke. And so we had heard that this book was coming out, and she went ahead and got this book for me instead of the doodle decks. And that is the Doodle Knit Directory by Jamie Lomax. So this has a bunch of the different like patterns and things. Not pattern. Well, there are patterns in the back. Like a cowl pattern, an infinity scarf, a hat pattern for you to like use as a base to input your charts into. And so, yeah. So there are those, and then you get a bunch of different like instructions on how to plan your project, how to choose a pattern, how to choose your charts, choosing your yarns, like putting together like contrasting colors and things. And then there are a bunch of like sample arrangements for designs and things. You've got a blank chart where you could like there's a website here that says you can download the chart from the website and then doodle your own or put together your charts and things on that. So you're not having to like refer to the book every time you are wanting to do a colorwork pattern. And it's got some really, really nice designs. There's like a basic section. There's spring. There's like underwater or ocean creatures, florals, summer. Really, really nice designs. And I definitely could use some of these for different things. Some of them I probably wouldn't use. I don't think that I'd ever find a use for those. But there are others in here that I'm like, oh yeah, I really think that I'd find a use for that. And so, yeah, I'm really, really excited to like put together some charted things to try to use next year. And so, yeah, really, really excited for this. And so that's the knit directory. I'd say if you were interested in any of the doodle decks, but weren't sure which ones to get, because that's kind of the problem I was having. There are so many different categories and things. I didn't know which ones to get. And every time I'd look at them, I'd be like, oh, I want like 4 or 5 of them. And it gets expensive. Like each deck is $30-something, I think. And times 4 or 5, that's a good chunk of money. But this book is only $24.99, and it comes with a whole bunch of the different designs. I presume some of these or all of these are in the different decks that are available. But yeah, I think it's a great value for the money. And the only thing that you'd have to do would be to make your own like knit chart by using these charts and combining. So I think this is going to be a really, really great resource, especially for, people who want to have like these really, really nice types of color work, full color work projects, or little socks or mittens, or even like, like I said, using the strange brew pattern and making your own color work yoke. I think that would be really, really fun. Or even like an all over color work sweater. That would be fun too. I have not yet attempted a full color work sweater. I do have the festive Christmas sweater, I think it's called, by Skein Deer, which is a full colorwork Christmassy pattern. I don't have it in me yet to try a full all over colorwork sweater, but I do enjoy myself a good colorwork yoke. And so I'm definitely thinking that's something I might want to look into next year. And so really, really excited for that. And that's pretty much all I've got for you as far as the nitty portion goes. We'll see what I work on between now and the next time I talk to you. But yeah, I guess that brings us to what had happened this week. So yeah, there was a meeting. It was a pretty full company meeting, actually, because there were 2 meetings going on that day for work. There was kind of like the one section of employees had to go to one meeting, and the second section had to go to a different meeting. And I was part of that second section, though I was kind of optional because I'm not that title, but I work with people that work under that title. And so they're making some changes as to how we work. We were put on different teams. They want us to work on as like a team mentality kind of thing to help with the workloads, because our company is kind of made up of a bunch of other smaller companies, and the workloads are all different, and so they kind of want to equalize the workload now that we're all kind of one company. I think I've talked to you before about the fact that we were bought by a larger company, and so we've kind of just been all working as separate companies up until this year. And now this year, they're making a whole bunch of changes, and they're moving more towards a full company change where we're all one company and not all separate companies anymore. And so with that comes a whole bunch of changes. And so we were separated into teams, and it's going to be interesting. It was effective immediately. So that day, things changed. And it's kind of weird. Things kind of haven't changed really on how we do things, but it's kind of because one moving element of our team is not available to us until next week. And so we won't really know anything until we start working together as a team, how this is going to work. We don't think it's going to. Our team, the team that I'm on, I don't think it's going to work the way that they think it's going to work. Basically because of the industries we work with. But yeah, we have to wait and see. And so, yeah, lots of kind of not steady ground, I would say. Everything just kind of feels not secure right now. And some of the things that were being said about the way that they want things to be going forward just doesn't seem feasible at all. And, this is the type of thing that happens when you've got people who are, corporate people who haven't really worked the positions that they're saying, oh, these things should work this way, but they don't know, like, no, things down here, for a better like phrase, don't work that way. And so, yeah, they've basically just proposed a scenario. They're making us do it, and we will reassess in a couple months. That's kind of the message we got. And so, yeah, not feeling too secure at the moment about how things will work. They opened up a couple of new programs that they want us to use, and so there's a learning aspect that kind of goes along with that. And, like I said, this time of the year for our section of the company is busy. We're busy, busy, busy. And there's no time to be taking classes so that, we can use these things because we've got so much work to do, but we have to. And so I don't know how this is going to work. We were at it for like 2 days since the meeting. And so it wasn't enough time to kind of like see anything. And like I said, one of the moving pieces of our team is not available to us until later next week. And so we're really not going to know like anything for a while. And it's kind of unsettling. It's bringing me a little bit more stress. I'm still definitely putting in those hours. I'm trying not to, though, because I don't want them to think that, oh, well, she can, get it done because she's putting in all the hours. Because that's not the message I want to send. The message shouldn't be that, oh, if I just put in like so many overtime hours, then, it's fine. I think I really need to, especially in a time of change like this, like, make the scenario as realistic as possible. So try not to work as much overtime as I normally would and see. So, yeah. This whole like hourly thing too is kind of stressing me out because I put in a lot of overtime last week, and every day that I have to work overtime, I'm like, okay, is this the day that they're going to call me and be all like, why are you putting in so much overtime? Why can't you get your work done in the allotted amount of time? And that's just not how my job works, which is why my previous boss pushed for us to be salaried. And I still don't understand why I'm not able to be salaried anymore. Especially because there's another team that they just put together that does exactly what I do. It has something to do with who I'm like under. And the person that I'm under is not connected to like a corporate position. It's just really weird. I don't know. I'm really, really not enjoying this. But, gotta find a way to get the work done in any case. And so, yeah, it's been a really, really stressful week. It's been a really unstable kind of feeling week. And so, yeah. Not a great, like, feeling for me at the moment. And, my daughter had a birthday this week, and it was really, really nice. Got to talk to my brother. He called, and that's always nice. So that was kind of like the bright spot of the week. And then, I'm just kind of reassessing like this work and life balance. I think I need to really think hard about work-life balance in the coming year and making sure that I equal that out for myself, because this year has been really, really tough for me. I mean, I'm sure if you've watched me for a good length of time this year, you know that work has just been stressing me out, and it's caused me a lot of grief. And I think I need to really like try to equal out play and professional. And lately professional has been taking up much more of my time than play, and I don't really get a lot of downtime anymore, and I haven't for a while. And so I think one of the things that I really want to work on next year is taking more time for myself. If that means, not recording as much, not posting as many videos on YouTube, that's what it means. But I think with how much work has been affecting me this year, I really need to reassess how much time I put into work, how much time I put into YouTube, and how much time I put into my hobbies, enjoying life, and that type of thing. Because I don't do much of that type of thing. You know that I don't go out very much. I don't have like sections of my video where I'm like taking you out to a restaurant or, shopping or whatever. I don't do a lot of that. And I kind of am thinking maybe I need to start. And so, yeah, just kind of a lot of things to think about at the end of this year. Lots of change going on, especially in my professional life, and it's leaving me with a little bit of an uneasy feeling. So with that being said, I'm just going to try to enjoy the time that I have available to me to enjoy my life, right? It's getting to the holiday season. We're closer and closer to Thanksgiving, or American Thanksgiving. And then after that, straight through Christmas and New Year's. So lots of festive feelings. And I really want to lean into that this year, because I think it will really help lift my spirits. And so that's what I'm going to do. And so really focusing on, things that bring me joy, spending time with people that I love, spending time enjoying life, and not spending so much time working. That's always the goal, right? And so I think that's pretty much where I'm going to leave you this week, with a smile, with glad feelings that the weather seems to finally be cooling down. I'm enjoying the brisk breezes and the chilly temperatures, especially at night. It's not too chilly during the day, but at night it gets nice and cold. And I'm definitely sleeping better for it. And those are all things to be thankful for, right? So let me know down in the comments below what you've been up to, what you've been reading, what you've been watching, what you've been working on. As far as watching, I never even told you. We've just been catching up on American TV shows because we're really behind now. But let me know what you've been up to. Share with me what your October was like. Did you finish October with as many seasonal type movies as you wanted to watch, like Halloween type movies or scary movies or whatever you wanted to do? Did you get all of that done? What was your best read or watch of October? I would really love to know. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me some kind of fall colored emoji, brown, orange, or yellow, down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.